Welcome back to the Making Sense Conversation podcast. I'm Washeken Duati. We are in March and this is the International Women's Day month, so to speak. And though I cannot speak directly into the theme this year, the hashtag Embrace Equality strikes me because with money, women and money, that has always been the issue. And I know we have spoken a lot about earning less in the workplace, but I have spent a lot of time talking to women. Last year, I spent a lot of time on one-on-one conversations to just understand when it comes to equality with money, that there are so many things beneath the surface, not one size fits all. And I want to start talking about them on this platform. So women and money, having the conversations, because we are fighting that women are less or deserve less in any way. And some of these things happen so subtly. So let me give you my example when I realize something has happened just because I'm a woman. Started my business, it's running, and I have I'm a signatory on the bank account, and there's also a male signatory on the bank account. It's me running the business. It's obviously my business. I'm the one up and about. But whenever we did transactions, especially bigger transactions, it is not me who would be called. And for a while, I just went with the flow. And then one day I snapped and I told them, unless they want me to leave their bank, they have to change that. I have been in a boardroom where out of everybody, I'm the one told to serve tea. And it is a board meeting. I am a director like anybody else. Even the parking attendant, it was the petrol station attendant. When I bought my car, I drive a Subaru. And when it was new a couple of years ago, he said I was very lucky to have a man who bought me that car. I bought that car myself. But these are just a few of the examples because it took me a while to internalize something different is going on just because I'm a woman. And if you're listening to this and you're a woman, something has happened to you financially just because you are a woman. And some of those things make us feel less. But I don't want to even start this conversation with tackling the external circumstances. I want to talk about us as women, you as a woman. Where are you accepting less in your life? Where are you not embracing equality for yourself? So let me give you my own experience where I was accepting less. And I think that if we're waiting for the external world to throw equity at us, we're going to be waiting for a very long time. So it is us to understand, be aware, and start making strides to stop accepting less. Maybe less happens because we are accepting of it. So as a business person, for a long time, I was underpricing my services until the day I realized I did try to negotiate. They didn't take me. They took a male speaker instead, who was not as good as me in that topic, and they paid him more. That's when I realized nobody is going to give this to me. And from that day, painfully, with all the fear, I started moving up my price to match what I thought was my value. I learned how to negotiate. And I know this happens to a lot of people in so many ways, even negotiating for salaries, that we tend to accept less. We have a lot of fears in our head telling us, no, if I don't take this client, it will be the last client, But I was accepting less, and I had to take responsibility that I was actually accepting less and had to change certain things. What I found out was maybe the way I was presenting myself, I was not really speaking to my value. Whilst a male speaker had not done as much as I did in these money conversations, but the little he had done, he knew how to highlight it and even multiply it. I had done so much, but I was understating it. Because we don't like to shout, we don't like to boast, and that did not work for me. I have accepted less by thinking I can't earn past a certain point, like in that example. I was waiting for permission for somebody to tell me I am worth more. And I've stopped waiting. I've learned the hard way. Ladies, stop waiting for somebody to show you the green light to ask for more, to earn more, to package yourself better. I was not voicing my opinions or watering them down to make others comfortable, or my perception of what others would feel comfortable. Many times I didn't even ask questions because I was afraid to look like I don't know. But that's how I was accepting less, by not asking questions in the right forum and not totally voicing my opinions. And I've learned sometimes you tell someone your opinion in a private conversation, they come and voice it for you and then take credit for you. I once worked for a job where that used to happen. My boss used to take my opinions and go into the main meetings when we met with all these other directors and then voice them at like his opinions and not give me any credit for it. So, but I accepted it for a very long time. He didn't tell me to do it, but I accepted it for a very long time. I think women, we also neglect our own needs, even just taking time for yourself. And you might be wondering why that is related to money. Because at the end of the day, and I quote in my Making Sense book, money is a tool for the life you want. But in itself, it is not the life. So don't wait for money to tell you what you should want. Time for yourself is actually time to decide what that life is, and therefore, you can then get the energy and determination to go after earning the kind of money that you need. So if you're like me and decide in my design of life, I must have a holiday by myself every year, trust me, I've done it. You make the money come to you for that. But if we're always neglecting our own needs, then there's a problem, because we show people that we are willing to neglect our own needs. In my conversations last year, there was a lady who was complaining that she was bought a refrigerator for her birthday. Whilst the house needed a refrigerator, there's a difference between what the house needs and what she would want. Yeah, she would want a holiday, but she was bought a refrigerator. It would have cost the same thing. And it's not that her partner was trying to be malicious or anything, but over time, she had also shown that she's happy when everybody else is happy. She's happy when the home has been taken care of. She's happy when the kids have been taken care of. But after talking to many women, a lot of us have gotten tired of playing those roles. No, we are not happy because the kids are happy. We are happy because our own needs have been met. But many times we neglect these needs and we don't voice them, and we don't even take time to decide what are those needs that I should even be voicing or even work towards or even partner. I am also guilty of being that person who just didn't think it was an option to ask, like this lady as well with the refrigerator, where you know something is wrong, but asking or challenging, like the bank story I gave you, many times I didn't ask. It took me a while for it to bother me enough. It bothered me from the get-go, but I didn't think it was an option. I was like, maybe that's just the way things are done. Yes, we're in a patriarchal society. Maybe I should just accept it. But it bothered me, and I just didn't allow myself that immediate option to ask for it to be changed. So I know sometimes we just don't ask. Sometimes we don't put our hand up, and that's why we are not heard. So apart from that, so we are accepting less because circumstances are thrown at us, what I've said, and then we kind of conform to those circumstances. We shrink to fit those circumstances, but we can't grow while shrinking at the same time. So we have to choose one or the other. Are we going to shrink or grow? You can't shrink into greatness. But there are other things that we run away from. We ignore facts. We don't look at numbers. We don't really want to look at the state of the finances. We don't really... Women have said to me, yes, my husband has come and tried to talk to me about finances, but I just don't want to deal with it. And I run away from it. And then if you do that, you can't complain if decisions are being made are one-sided, because you're running away from facing the numbers. Sometimes we are comfortable. We're comfortable with how we are spending money, so we don't want to look at the numbers. Yeah. And if you don't face facts, you're also accepting less, because what happens the day your partner cannot sustain that, or something happens, is an illness, is a death, is a loss of a job, because you are not looking at the numbers, then you're in a bad place. When you don't look at the numbers, then you don't voice your opinion. So you're accepting less, because in a way you may look good, but you are minimizing yourself. So look at the numbers. It is uncomfortable, but look at them. We are guilty of sometimes thinking it's too complicated. Nothing is too complicated to learn. If you can do your life the way you do it, run your house the way you do it, run your business the way you do it, run your career the way you do it, honestly, run your family the way you do it, honestly, there's nothing too complicated. It doesn't mean you have to be a stock market expert, but nothing is too complicated for you to learn how it actually works behind the scenes and why it works for you. So we've got to get out of the comfort that things will just work, because then we are accepting less. And if you did understand it, you'd be able to see what works for you. You'd be able to see, what do I need to do? And the minute you set an objective, you set a goal, then you start working towards it. It doesn't mean, and sometimes women, we're guilty of this, we want things to be perfect all the time. It doesn't mean you have all the answers now or everything is perfect. But put yourself in a place where you can't run away, and the only way is forward. Ignoring things puts you backwards in some way or the other. So, where does all this come from? That we have accepted less. It is experiences that create beliefs, that create patterns. If you don't want to face numbers, there's a reason behind it. Whether that reason is you are told girls should not look at this, or whether that reason is you are told you are bad at maths, or whether that reason is that you observed your brothers being treated differently from you, whatever it is, there was an experience that made you believe a certain thing. You believed, this is not for me. You believed there's a society that has a message around women and money. So we can talk about that women should be paid equally, but we have to understand we grew up in a society where what we generally saw is women earning less. So that is, when women earn less, it is still generally accepted. That is the societal belief system that we are working against, yeah? And then it forms a pattern, and sometimes you don't seek to question it, yeah? So I'm not telling you this to blame yourself. I'm just to blame yourself. It's just so that you understand actually what has held me back. There was a message at somewhere that entered my system. So logically, you could think it is wrong, but your patterns and the seed that was truly planted in you is still there. And you have to understand that it is still there. So I want you to ask yourself, where are you accepting less in your life and why? Just think, where did it come from? And secondly, what environment continues to perpetuate it? And start making strides to change that. Because the message, the belief system, the core, leave all our combined experiences that we are trying to change is that the belief that I'm not good enough. So I'm not deserving enough. That is a lie. That is a lie. You are good enough. So since you are good enough, the rest it's your acceptance. Yeah? Where are you accepting less in your life? And if the environment that you are is not willing to provide change, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to voice it? Are you going to confront it? Are you going to change it? Yeah? And start challenging. When I started challenging my clients, leave alone getting better value for my service and my experience, my own confidence grew. And I silenced the voice in my head telling me, no, if you challenge, you won't get this job. They'll go and hire somebody else. Have some jobs along the way gone that route? Yes. But knowing I am good enough, knowing that in my trade, my craft, I am good, I am really good, has helped that. And you start to change the experience for yourself. That experience may not have been provided to you. Yeah. That experience may not have been mirrored for you anywhere. That's not what you grew up seeing. But this is the power of being a human being. You can change the experience for yourself. Even things that are practical. When I started teaching Centonomy, is the first time in my life that I started tracking my expenses. Now I knew where my money went. Even if it wasn't a lot, at least I knew where it went. That means when I needed to work towards something else, I knew what to change around so that I could work. If I needed to save money to put in the business, I knew what to change around, what expenses to switch around. That is empowerment. That is a form of not accepting less in my life, saying, because I want to work certain things, now I know what my money is doing, I can actually change things around. So at the end of the day, we do have to take responsibility. So I ask you, where are you accepting less? And what are you going to do about it? Thank you. See you next time.